Hi guys, and welcome back to Braid School. Today we're going to be talking about color and the types of colors you'll typically find in braiding hair. I'm going to show you guys how to custom color mix these things, and we're also going to talk about how to manually ombre your braids seamlessly. I've got some easy tips and tricks to take the guesswork out of how to find that perfect ombre. So if these are things you are looking to learn to level up your game, make sure you stay tuned. Most brands work with the same color numbering system. The brand I'm going to be using today is Expressions Braiding Hair. Expressions is widely known for carrying a wide range of color options, with one being the blackest of black, and as the numbers go up, the colors lighten and change over the spectrum, all the way to 60, which is usually pure white. In my experience, most people tend to go with natural colors like blacks and browns and blondes, much like these you see here. On the left here you see a 1B classic. Almost everyone has done a 1B at some point. It stands for 1, which is jet black with a brown mix. The middle one you see there is a 1B30. It's a mixture of the color 30, which is a copper color. As you can see, the color is mixed completely throughout it, and it kind of ombres a little bit into the full color 30. This one is a mix of a 1B27, which is a much lighter blonde, and this one is a 27-613 high blonde mix. A lot of times you cannot find the exact color to match your hair, so that's when you have to manually mix the colors yourself. The color mix I'm going to show you is the most popular one I have, and it's what I like to call the Beyonce mix. It is a mix of blonde 27, highlights of 613 platinum, and sometimes blended in with 30. Now, because 613 is such a high contrasting color to 27, I don't want to mix in too much of it. I only want to mix in a little bit at a time, because what's going to happen is if you have too much of the 613 and you don't blend every single strand, it'll start to look like the piano streaks. You remember those piano highlights they used to have back in the 90s? Was it the 90s? I think so, yeah. So what you see I've done here is I've placed that 613 underneath the 27, and I'm slowly grabbing very, very small pieces of them together and moving them back to the other side. And I'm going to continue doing this until I get an even blend or somewhat close to it. If you're doing like knotless braids or something like that, you don't have to mix too much because you're already going to be feeding in the hair, and the feed-in process is going to help blend the hair even more. But if you're doing classics, you want to make sure that you get those chunky stripes out of there. See that? Getting a custom blend just right is very, very time consuming, which is why a lot of braiders will charge extra for it. I personally don't, because I enjoy the challenge. I want to see what I can create. So it really is up to the braider. Now the blend does call for 30 sometimes as a low light. So I'm going to grab the 30 and I'm going to blend it the exact same way with the already pre-mixed 27 and 613. And there you have it. Now, a shortcut to doing all of that is to find a pre-mixed 27 and 613. If you do that and mix it with the 30, you can get the same combo. Moving on to the ombres, I kind of have a bone to pick with some of these brands who claim their hair is ombre. Yeah, they may look ombre from far away, but when you receive the hair or you pick their hair up, it is actually a blend throughout. In my opinion, an ombre is a solid color that transitions to another solid color, typically from dark to light, much like the one I'm showing you here. This one is a solid 1B to a 27 to a 613. Now, a lot of times you won't be able to find this hair already pre-colored, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that manually. What I have here is a 1B and a 27-613 pre-mix, because that one is typically easier to find. I've already started off with my 1B braid, and before I get closer to the end, about, I would say about 6 inches before I hit the bottom. I already have my pre-portioned smaller pieces of the blonde hair set aside, and I'm going to start feeding those in. I want to make sure that I get to a transition where the 27 stands alone. And if you need a very detailed tutorial on how I do a feed in, I will pop it in right here in the cards above, and I'll leave a link below. Now, since the blonde mixed hair already transitioned into that 613 on its own, I'm not going to add any more hair, but if I wanted to extend this braid, make it longer, I would have solid 613 pieces set aside to extend the braid and keep the ombre going. This particular method only used 2 types of colored hair because one was already pre-mixed, but here I'm going to show you how to do this with 3 different colors. If you've ever watched a makeup tutorial, you would know that most eyeshadow looks require a transition shade. And in this case, I'm going to be feeding in from a 1B down to a solid 30. And to help with that seamless transition so that we don't have a chunky block off in the middle, I'm going to use the help of a blended 1B 30 as my transition shade, and then I'm going to finish it off with a solid 30. Alright, so I'm going to finish this video off by showing you how to do this again with a color 27. And that really just concludes the video today, you guys. This is really the basics of manual ombre, and we talked about blending earlier. It is a time-consuming process. Prep is going to be your friend here, but you know, if a brand doesn't make it, we'll figure out how to make it ourselves. As always, if you found this video helpful, make sure you smash that like button. Welcome to all of our new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss our uploads. And let us know in the comments below, what is your favorite color mix or favorite ombre? What is your go-to color? Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.